So should Ange Postecoglou walk after winning the Europa League, ending Tottenham Hotspur's 17-year wait for silverware? He won't, because he's a European champion with an opportunity to manage in the Champions League next season. But hear me out. I think he should, because it will not get better for him at that club. He has them on such a high right now, delivering a European trophy, getting one before Arsenal too, and the backdoor entry into the Champions League. You can brush away the atrocious league campaign that happened with all the mitigating circumstances around it. But if the final went against them, are you brushing away 37 games, 38 points, 21 defeats, 61 goals conceded, and 17th in the league? Probably not. But fair play to Ange Postecoglou for delivering the goods in a club and a culture that are not designed to deliver. He dropped a boss level quote at the beginning of the season saying, "I usually win things in my second season," and later amended it to, "Nah, mate, I always win things in my second season." He put it out there, repeatedly told us that he is a winner, and he's gone out there and done it on a European stage. I'm a huge fan of Ange, his story, the journey to get where he has, the way that he talks about football and sees the game, and ultimately his philosophy on the pitch. And as much as I do not want to see Spurs succeeding, I cannot help but admire and be pleased for Big Ange. And as for Manchester United, this was a necessary wake-up call. Nothing to mask the season that they have had, all laid bare. Last season ended with the modicum of optimism with the FA Cup victory against Manchester City, getting a backdoor entry into the Europa League, but they were 8th and they served up absolute dross on the pitch week in and week out. And they made 200 odd million pounds of signings in the summer, got Ruben Amorim, a young, hungry, up-and-coming manager who has won the league in his country. Granted, he took over mid-season, but they were 4 points off 4th at the time? And the results, oh my goodness, they have gotten worse. 9 points since the turn of the year. That's simply not good enough. Forget winning games. They can't score goals as a team. It is yet another season of negative goal difference. Last season it was -1. This time it's -12, and they have not cracked the 40 points required with the season ending on Sunday. It is rock bottom for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim cannot survive this, but the only reason that he might is because Manchester United's hierarchy has shown that they are skint, making cuts and redundancies during the season, pretty much relying on that Champions League money to make changes, and now that is not there. For Manchester United, last summer window where Erik ten Hag spent big on Onana, Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund, that will haunt them for the coming years. And even the likes of Ugarte, who cost them 60 mil, couldn't get a single minute in the biggest game of the season. This is their team, and the ones that will leave to generate the funds will be the likes of Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo, by the way, got 90 seconds plus stoppage time, by the way. That can't be right considering the big goals that he has scored in his young career. Look, since Ruben Amorim took over, it has been objectively the worst Manchester United ever, with losing games becoming the norm. United's last win in the league was against Leicester in mid-March. He has not come to grips with the Premier League at all. He is drowning out there. But you also feel a bit of sympathy for him because he's got a goalkeeper who can't save shots and a striker who can't score goals. You've got no chance. But he had 90 minutes to put on a coaching performance. Forget about everything that has happened in the past. Something to salvage, something to hold on to or to take forward, and he failed on all the metrics. Team selection, chances created. Not making a sub at halftime when they were 1-0 down was a huge red flag, and not making a change until the 70th minute, it's alarm bells ringing. United were 4-2 down at Old Trafford, staring down the barrel against Lyon in the quarterfinals. They shouldn't even be here, but with an opportunity somehow falling onto your lap, Champions League next season or bust, and that's what you serve up in the final. It was abysmal. They don't deserve it, and justice has been served. Look, any defense towards Ruben Amorim falls apart when the likes of David Moyes for Everton, Vito Pereira for Wolves, and even Graham Potter for West Ham, all three managers who took over mid-season too, have objectively done better than him in the league. The bar is on the floor. Manchester United backed Ten Hag, and we've seen how that worked out. United could very easily make that same mistake again if they are to give Amorim, say, 100 or 150 million pounds with the evidence in front of us. To put it simply, if you play a negative 5 at the back formation whose primary goal is not to entertain, you don't keep clean sheets, you don't score goals, and you don't win games. It's crazy whereby you don't tick one out of the 4 boxes that I mentioned, and I can understand why football does not make sense to Manchester United fans. But Suraj, you didn't talk about the game. I mean, what was there to say, man? It was 16th versus 17th, and that's exactly what we got. It was a very poor representation. Brennan Johnson's deflected effort of Luke Shaw 3 minutes before halftime gave Spurs the lead and the eventual winner. And by the way, why was Luke Shaw starting in a final in 2025 when he has barely been available? 90 minutes, that too. It's mind-boggling. But yeah, United never really threatened. Amorim's subs were like for like, and their best chance came through an incomprehensible spill from Vicario and a heroic goal line clearance by Mickey van der Ven. But this game wasn't about football. It's how the fortunes of either one of these clubs can change dramatically in the coming years. Yeah, man, it's been a season for the underdogs. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup against Manchester City, their first trophy in their history. Newcastle ended their 70-year drought with the Carabao Cup. And then there's this Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, ending their 17-year wait for silverware. And Chelsea, I am looking at you. Do not mess up against Real Betis.